Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about sunscreen. I've talked about sunscreens a lot in favorite and fails videos, but I haven't done a full roundup, and I feel like with summer coming up, it's the perfect time to talk you through all of my favorite sunscreens. I've tested over 30 different sunscreens in preparation for this video just to confirm that these are my favorites. Everything I could find online that had good reviews, I picked it up and I tested it. Mostly leaning toward mineral sunscreens because that's what I personally prefer, but I did also test some chemical sunscreens and I have a couple chemical options if that's something that you prefer. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the best 7 sunscreens at an affordable price point for this summer. The first 4 I'm going to be talking about are mineral sunscreens. Mineral sunscreens work best for my skin. I have sensitive, acne-prone skin. I'm also very sensitive eyes, and a lot of chemical sunscreens make my eyes feel like they are burning, especially like at the pool and at the beach when the sunscreen tends to get in your eyes. So if you're not familiar, the difference between a physical and a chemical sunscreen, basically a chemical sunscreen is what it sounds like. It's a mixture of chemicals that come together to block UVA and UVB rays. They transform the UV rays into heat and then they release it from the skin. You can tell a sunscreen is a chemical sunscreen by the back of the bottle, the active ingredients. The most common ones you'll see are avobenzone, octocrylene, homosalate, and octasalate. Now, physical sunscreen you can think of more as sitting on top of your skin. They absorb and deflect the UV rays, so the protection is still great. It's just protecting you in a different way. The way you can tell that a sunscreen is a physical sunscreen is by the active ingredients being either titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Sometimes you'll see a mixture of these two ingredients, sometimes there's just one or the other. Zinc oxide typically has a little bit more protection. It's known for being able to block both long and short form UVA and UVB rays, whereas titanium dioxide is really better for the short form UVA, UVB rays. So I would be fine personally wearing a titanium dioxide based sunscreen with no zinc in it on a daily basis working from home in my house. I'm not in direct sun exposure. Now, if I was gonna sit on the beach for the whole day, I wouldn't want just titanium dioxide in my sunscreen. If I had to put it in a nutshell of like the quick pros and cons of a chemical versus physical sunscreen, I would say chemical. The formulas usually feel a lot nicer. They go on seamlessly. There's no white cast. They wear typically really well under makeup, and they're friendly for all skin tones. The downside of chemical sunscreens is if you have very sensitive skin, sometimes chemical sunscreens can irritate your skin. And if you have sensitive eyes, the chemical filters can kind of give you that stinging or burning sensation in your eyes. And then with mineral sunscreens, the pros would be definitely better for more sensitive skin types. There's going to be no stinging or burning around your eye. And then the cons would be a lot of them, like I said, have an ingredient called zinc oxide, which is known for leaving that white cast. So sometimes they're not friendly for all skin tones. Sometimes they can feel just a little bit thicker or heavier. So there's a lot of debate over what is better, chemical or physical. In every dermatologist I've ever spoken to's opinion, the best sunscreen is the sunscreen that you will wear and you will enjoy wearing. So the most important thing is to find a formula that feels really nice to you, that works with your daily routine. Hopefully this will give you a good head start. So the first category is going to be Tinted Mineral. Now the tint in the mineral sunscreens really helps with the zinc oxide because it hides the zinc oxide. It helps hide the white in the zinc to leave less of a white cast. And the two that I like the most are the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint and the Australian Gold Botanical Tinted Face. This Neutrogena one has replaced my La Roche-Posay Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. That one used to be my favorite, but the price just keeps going up. It's almost $40 now, and that one only has titanium dioxide. It was great for an everyday SPF for me for a long time, but since this was released, I'm not spending that $40 again. This one has both zinc and titanium dioxide. It's an SPF of 30. For me, on an everyday basis, I'm good with an SPF of 30. This is water resistant for up to 80 minutes, and the ingredient list is very basic. It does have vitamin E, but there's not a whole lot of frills in this. It comes in several different shades, which is new for the drugstore. I have the shade medium. The downside of this one is my makeup, specifically my foundation, does not wear well on top of this. So this is a great option to wear in place of foundation. If you're looking for like a one-step tinted moisturizer sunscreen, this one is really great for that purpose. I would specifically recommend this for more normal to dry skin. Now, if you're looking for the same type of product and you're more normal to oily, my #1 recommendation would be this Australian Gold. This also comes in a variety of shades. When I say variety, I use that very loosely. I think it's like 3 shades. This has both titanium and zinc oxide. It has an SPF of 50, and this has more of a matte finish. It's also water resistant for up to 80 minutes. However, again, with this one, I don't like how this wears under makeup. This has more of a moussey texture, so it feels a little bit heavy for me when I'm gonna put foundation on top. These are great one-step everyday product. All right, now for mineral sunscreens that wear really well under makeup. I care a lot less about having a tiny bit of a white cast for my under makeup mineral sunscreens because I'm going in with foundation anyway. I'm more looking for a thin blendable formula when I'm gonna be putting makeup on top of it, so I don't feel like I have layers and layers sitting on my skin. All right, the first one I've spoken about before, and this is one of my new favorite brands. I found them last year, and it's LOreal Sun Care. This is a brand you can find at Target. I think they're only at Target right now. The founder of this brand is a mom, and she was trying to find sunscreens for her kids that were mineral-based sunscreens because they had sensitive skin. And back then when she started this brand, all the mineral sunscreens were like really thick and chalky and just not nice to put on her kids every day. So she started this brand and created these really silky, beautiful mineral formulas. So this one is the LOreal Sun Care Go Daily Defense Soothing Mineral Face Sunscreen. This has non-nano zinc oxide. It also has a little bit more of the added ingredients compared to the first two. This is a little bit higher of a price point than the Neutrogena and Australian Gold, but this has green tea extract, vitamin E, aloe, and a lot of anti-inflammatory ingredients. This goes on like a really beautiful moisturizing lotion, and it dries down really nicely. I feel like I need to show you this one. The way that you work it in is you really have to like blend it. When you first put it on, you're like, oh my gosh, look at that white cast. But all you have to do is let it kind of sit for a second and then keep at it and just really massage it into your skin. And it really does blend in with the most minimal white cast. Depending on your skin tone, there's no white cast, but I'd like to hear from people with a darker skin tone if you've tried this, if it does leave a white cast on you. This is my one-step morning routine when I'm going to wear makeup. If you have more normal to oily skin, you don't need a moisturizer under this. This has a lot of moisturizing properties in it. One of the most underrated, under talked about sunscreen brands out there. Now, if you want a higher SPF than 30, which is what that one has, my other favorite to wear under makeup when I need a little bit more protection is the Cetaphil Sheer Mineral Face Liquid Sunscreen. This one has SPF of 50. This also has niacinamide, vitamin E, allantoin, and again, anti-inflammatory ingredient. The active ingredient here is zinc oxide. You need to shake this one really well, but it goes on like a fluid consistency and it leaves a minimal white cast. It goes on like a serum, and this one again leaves more of a white cast than the LOreal one, but you just really have to work it in. You just gotta keep blending till you can't blend anymore. Again, this is an under makeup product, so if there's a little bit of a white cast, my foundation's gonna cover that right up. I just really love that thin, fluid-like consistency that this one provides. Minimal white cast, but once you let it dry down, it feels really undetectable on your skin, and it's great for under makeup. Those are my favorite physical sunscreens. These two for wearing alone, and these two for wearing under makeup. All right, the next two are both chemical sunscreens. And I'm mentioning them both because they're both great formulas, but I definitely recommend one over the other. So let's start with the one that I really recommend. It's the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Moisturizing Face Serum. This has an SPF of 60. So when I go to the beach, I'm either reaching for this or something like the Australian Gold because I want SPF 50 or above. And this one provides really, really great protection. However, I have to wear a mineral sunscreen around my eyes. You can use my MD Solar Sciences sunscreen stick around my eyes. I can use one of my other mineral sunscreens around my eyes and then put this kind of everywhere but right here because this does burn my eyes. This one also comes in like a pink orange packaging. It also has SPF 60. It's called Neutrogena Sheer Serum SPF as well. I love both of them. I kind of loop them in together. The only real difference is that the other one does not have avobenzone. So if that's an ingredient that you avoid, that's another option with the same type of formulation. This one has both vitamin E and glycerin. The active ingredients here are avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, and octocrylene. And I would say this one is good for all skin types. I've never met someone that didn't enjoy this sunscreen. It's just so thin in consistency. I mean, the difference between how easy this is to blend versus some of the mineral ones is pretty crazy. Chemical sunscreens are just so luxurious feeling. Very much smells like a sunscreen, but there's no added scent to it. Works amazingly well for under makeup. but also you don't need to layer makeup on top of it because there's no white cast. This is at an incredibly reasonable price point. I don't really see a need to spend any more than this, which is why I almost didn't include this other one because it's more expensive and I don't like it anymore, but it is really great. So I wanted to mention it for those of you maybe looking for some specific ingredients that it has. The other chemical one that I love is the L'Oreal Revitalift. This one comes in like a serum type of bottle. This is more expensive than the Neutrogena one, and I don't think it's that much more special. Again, a serum-like consistency, blends in super easily, feels like water, all the good stuff. The only real difference between the two, they both have glycerin, they both have vitamin E, is that the L'Oreal Revitalift does have vitamin C. So if that's something that you don't currently have in your skincare routine that you want to put in your skincare routine, maybe that would make this L'Oreal product worth it because it's like multiple steps. But if you've already got your vitamin C covered, save the 10 bucks and go with this one. They have the exact same active ingredients. They feel super similar. Neutrogena actually has a higher SPF at 60 versus 50. But again, vitamin C in this one that this one does not have. Okay, last one has become my current everyday favorite. It is a alternative to the Elta MD Clear sunscreen and kind of combines everything we just talked about. It is the Dermatology Universal Tinted Moisturizer SPF 40. This has beautiful packaging and it is a hybrid sunscreen. So that means it has both chemical and physical filters in it. The filters in it are Zinc Oxide, which is the physical filter, and octinoxate, which is the chemical filter. This is tinted. It doesn't provide a lot of coverage. It's called a tinted moisturizer, but it just kind of goes on clear in my opinion. This is what it looks like. And it blends out just like a chemical sunscreen would, really thin in consistency and really comfortable to wear alone or under makeup, and it leaves a beautiful, soft, dewy glow with just a hint of sheer coverage. This is my current favorite everyday sunscreen that I wear with or without makeup. It's a hybrid, so you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. It does not bother my sensitive skin at all, and it doesn't burn my eyes. This has an SPF of 46, very specific, and it has broad spectrum UVA, UVB protection. If you're a fan of the Elta MD UV Clear, you have to try this. If you don't try anything else from this video, pick this one up. I'm blown away by how beautiful this is. If you have really oily skin, you may not love it, but for everyone else, I think you'll really love this formula. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if you try any of these. I would love to hear what you think of them, and I will see you guys in my next video.